Hi everybody, Melissa from Melissa vs. Fibromyalgia here. I hope that you are doing well. I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you the 8 things that really helped me during the pandemic. So it's always good to check if things actually help, right? It's not good to be doing something if it's not actually making a difference. And so after putting it to this very intense test where I was at home with 3 small high energy boys, much of it alone, while trying to work 20 hours and manage my health and keep my yoga and blog stuff going, I did pretty well, actually. I'm really happy with how I did. And despite my neck and back being harder to manage, my average pain levels went from mild to moderate, but I only had one neck migraine. And that was in the first weekend. So I'd say that was all down to stress. It was very stressful at first, having the entire country go into extreme lockdown and completely home with the family and not being able to see any other parts of our family. But anyway, I thought that I would share these 8 things that have been working, or that I have tested and know to work. So the first one is my electric heat pad. This has been hands down my number one best purchase of 2020. Instead of dragging myself out of bed, standing in front of the microwave, waiting for my heat pack to get warm, and then trying to get it into the right spot, I literally just press a button and I have my whole back and neck ready. It has been the best help. It's made such a difference. The other thing is physiotherapy. So I really did know that it helped my neck, and I have to go every 3 weeks. That's how I manage these chronic trigger points. But it really also helps my back as well. So after more than 2 months of not being able to see my physio, my entire back and neck were flaring. I was getting spasms in my mid back. My lower back was so uncomfortable that I couldn't even lie. I don't even lie flat anyway, but I couldn't even lie comfortably with my pillow underneath my legs. I was having to wriggle around quite a lot. So the acupuncture needles go on my neck and shoulders, but what my physio does while those needles are in is using the ultrasound on my middle and lower back, and that's actually made such a difference. And I hadn't realized how much of a difference it had made, or even how quiet that area had become. So I'm really thankful for that. I was also very, very thankful when I was able to get back to physio. It was I begged for one of the first appointments with my physio on the first day back, because I really I had headaches, I think, every day for the last 2 weeks of lockdown, and that was with me doing all the things. So physiotherapy is key for me. But the follow on from that is self trigger point work. So that really, really makes a difference. So all of my so I normally have trigger points that are a problem, and I get tension in my neck and my upper shoulders really badly, and it's worse when I'm working on a computer. It is a perpetuating factor. I cannot mitigate it. If I'm on the computer, it's gonna happen, no matter how ergonomically friendly I make my desk, no matter how short I sit down, it doesn't like it. But being able to work on my trigger points, especially these ones in your side muscles, your sternocleidomastoid muscles and all those ones in there, I've been able to really make a difference myself. So I was getting some pretty bad headaches and feeling quite nauseous for some time, but I was able to really help myself for a long time. I mean, until it got to the point where it was all just too compounded and I needed the physio, but I was able to really make a difference. So I was tilting my head to the side and really massaging into the side. And when it's bad, you can feel where the trigger points are. And so I was just doing a lot of work myself, and it made a big difference. I was using my Theracane trigger point massager. Again, big difference. But anything you can do for yourself, even if it is just massaging when you're putting on some kind of topical pain cream, really makes a difference. And then following on from that as well is those regular dynamic stretches. So stretching my neck regularly, my shoulders, finding a trigger point, holding it down and kind of moving through the range of motion really is helpful for me. And of course, yoga, breathing, and meditation. So like I said, when we first went into lockdown, my chest was just constantly heavy and tight. And it wasn't because I was sick, it was because I was so anxious about the situation. Sitting there and watching the press conference with our Prime Minister, and her saying that we need the entire country in lockdown, and only essential workers can leave the house, it was pretty stressful. And the ability to plan is kind of what helps me to survive. That's how I do everything I do. And you just cannot plan when you are told that your entire country is on lockdown for the foreseeable future. But my breathing practices got me through this. And I actually leaned in and learned even more. So I really learned my alternate nostril breathing as well, which is a pranayama yogic technique, which I love and is really good for anxiety. And every day after lunch, as usual, I did my guided meditation, which makes a huge difference. So I was doing 45 minutes of real rest and relaxation, made a big difference for me. And my yoga practice, it didn't really look like a class. I mean, it looked like cat and cow whenever I had a minute, with some puppy thrown in for my upper body tightness. It looked like doing downward dog and cat and cow and forward bend with an 18-month-old climbing under me. I have used my tools and I have used them well. And that's not necessarily in any kind of formal practice. Avoiding white flour. This was a really interesting one. So in the beginning of lockdown, we were only allowed 2 loaves of bread at a time per shop, and we were trying to go only every fortnight. And when you've got 5 people in the house, that doesn't last very long, but we also had a flour shortage. So I managed to get hold of a 20-kilogram bag of white flour, which is, I never buy white flour. I always cook with wholemeal flour. But anyway, we bought it and we were cooking to my son's heart's content because he loves to cook. And then I was realizing that my tummy was really sore and it was getting really bloated. And I was getting really lethargic and I was like, I don't understand. And one day I had 2 scones because I'm obsessed with scones with jam and cream. I had 2, which is very naughty and not at all a serving size, but that's my thing. And then I realized I was so sore that I was sick. Like I felt actually sick to my stomach. And then I thought, oh, I think I know what this is. Stopped eating the white flour, boom, fine again. So I don't know why white flour only when every other type of gluten and wheat is fine, but there you are, that works. Gentle walking. I am super excited that we started to walk. And at first it was like 15 minutes and it was pretty slow going and I'd have quite a bit of pain afterwards, but I'd do my best with stretching. But we actually have managed to do it pretty much every day. And now I'm doing 30 to 45 minutes a day with no hangover pain afterwards. I'm still stretching and I did overdo it yesterday. We went a bit too long. But it's not too bad. I can feel it and it's not at all comfortable, but it's not that kind of writhing around intense pain that I'm used to. So it's pretty nice because it helps to be outside and it helps to move muscles, and gentle walking has always been really soothing for my trigger points. I don't know how, but sometimes if I have a mild headache coming and I take a gentle walk, it just, all of this stuff releases. So there you are. Maybe it's the stress, maybe it's the physicality, I don't know, but it helps. And sleep. So I've always said sleep is king, right? And I always will. But we cannot be well and continuously sleep poorly. I just don't think they go together. But my sleep hygiene routines, my walks, my yoga, my meditation, my breathing, my low-dose naltrexone and magnesium all help me sleep. And so even when my neck is interrupting me multiple times a night, I was still sleeping in multiple hour blocks, which is what makes all the difference. So you'll note that a lot of these 8 things are kind of reactionary to trigger points, but the trigger points and the fibromyalgia, central nervous system, they kind of work together. So it's hard to know which is which and what's going on, but stress definitely doesn't help any of it. But there you are. These are my 8 things. I'd love to know what's helping you. What maybe have you confirmed over this time? And we do talk about all of these things. So all of these things we go into really in depth in the Melissa vs. Fibromyalgia membership team. So if you want to learn about that, you can click the link below. But anyway, do share anything that has been helping you, anything new you've tried, or anything you have been doing for a long time that you have now confirmed. We would love to hear about it. If you like these videos, please hit like, please subscribe, and go back and check. I've got other videos. I've got yoga classes and poses and other trainings that might be useful to you.